I keep finding my way back to the Keys. Originally a maritime trade and fishing outpost, the ocean here has always been a way of life. Over the years, however, the industry's changed, and tourism has left deep scars. Scuba divers and fishing charters have brought with them hungry sharks that have learned people need food, and meanwhile, the fish have gotten fewer, the pressure heavier, but something about this place still holds me. It's one of the only places where, just a short ride from shore, you can drop in on wahoo on the surface, black grouper stacked under ledges, and muttons pushing in with the current, all of it pulsing around living reef. Down there, everything slows down. You see it all, the hunt, the rhythm, the way this place still breathes beneath the surface. I don't come here looking for what it used to be. I come for what's still here, and for the chance to meet it face to face.
Welcome back underwater, everybody, and if you remember from the last video, we saw this massive cubera at the end of it. The one next to it's probably 20 pounds, and the one up at the top is probably 50 or 60. We spent probably 2 hours hunting this thing, and while we were hunting it, these schools of Cero mackerel came in. Some of the Cero were big. This one that I'm about to shoot was medium-sized for these schools, but it gives me a shot, and I take it. Now, you can see it's just ripping off line, and the thing with these Cero is that they're really, really good at tearing themselves out because of how soft their flesh is compared to the strength that they have. So I'm playing it super duper light, letting it take line. I'm telling Evan that I need a second shot because I'm not sure how good my shot is, and they're so good at pulling out. So we're fighting it super gingerly and trying to get it so that it will be directly under us. Once it's directly under us, Evan can take his duck dive, and you can see him breathing up right here, getting ready to do that, and then he can put a second shot in it. Because with these mackerel, sometimes, no matter how good your shot is, when it's center mass, they really, really like to tear out. Especially because we're shooting kind of heavy shafts. You can see this remora just kind of following Evan around. But once he gets that second shot in there, we're very confident that we can land it, because the second shot also dazes and injures the fish to an extent that it makes it really hard for it to actually fight to get away. So once we get that second shot in, we can kind of just pull it straight up, horse it a little bit more, not have to worry about it tearing out. And you can see my shot was relatively center mass, but it still would have called for that backup.
That's a big Cero. And it barely's in. There's a shark right here too.
So always brain bleed and gut your fish, which is what I'm doing right here. And for a Cero mackerel, this one is big, so we got the big camera out. You can see both shots were center mass there. Look at that tail. This thing made excellent sashimi and poke bowls.
What's going on, everybody? I just got done editing this video, and one of the things that you don't see a lot of in these videos when I edit it out is just how much work goes into maintaining the boat and taking care of it when we go down to the Keys or when we really take it out at all. If you spend as much time on the water as I do, you really know how frustrating and annoying boat care can be. And that's why I'm really excited to announce a new partner for the channel, Better Boat. They sent me some really essential stuff, not the most glamorous stuff in the world, but just like stuff that you use every single day, every single time you take the boat out. For instance, grease gun. Use it for the hubs on the trailer tires, use it for the jack plate. You use it way more than you think you would, and when you don't have one, it's really annoying. They also make their own marine grease, which is great, and it's important that you use marine grease for things like trailer hubs because they are constantly getting flooded with salt water. Boat soap, another essential. We are throwing bloody fish in this boat all the time, right? Without good boat soap, it would smell horrible. And my favorite, the deck brush. Before I was just using a hand brush like this, right? But Better Boat was kind enough to send us a full deck brush so I could stand up and scrub, which takes away from the hours of being hunched over scrubbing on my hands and knees. And so, in order to christen this sponsorship, we're going to put the Better Boat sticker on the boat itself. And I'll go over this with paint later. I also kind of like this one, so I'm going to do this one too.
Alright, back to our regularly scheduled content. Because of the current on this day, while we were hunting for the Cubera, we basically had to do drifts over the ledge that we had seen it on over and over and over again. So that's what we're doing here. We're resetting the boat, and as you're doing these drifts, we found this rock that was just very consistently full of big black grouper, and you can see here as I'm coming down, there's probably 3 or 4 that are visible even from here. Problem is, the current is horrifically bad, and the rock is in about 87 feet of water. Recovering fish from that deep with this much current is really, really difficult and borderline dangerous. So it's really important that you try to get a stone shot. You can see all those fish that are bait normally right there. Get that stone shot. But those little yellow fish, I'm always telling you all, are a good sign that there's black grouper around, are on this rock too. They're always on it. We've been back there a couple times since, and it always has those little yellow fish. So stone that fish and bring it to the surface, which is really key because no one wants to have to recover a grouper from that deep with this much current. Pulling this guy up. Probably shouldn't let him dangle, especially in the Keys when there are sharks aplenty. But in my experience, when a fish is stone dead like this, sharks don't really pay it much mind. They like the movement. They like a struggling fish more than they like just something, a dead piece of bait. But that doesn't mean that they won't go for it. Put him in the boat.
New plan. We're gonna spot lock the boat over it, and we're gonna spot lock the boat in front of it so that we can drift back and just swim back to the boat. Kick super hard to get back to the boat, and then just breathe up for 5 minutes.
Alright, so at this point we had given up on the Cubera, and we were trying to get our black limit. So we do these drifts, and instead of drifting all the way over the ledge, we just sit in front of this one and kick back to the boat and take really long breathe ups. That's Evan going down. Here he shoots a black off of this rock. He's on his way up, and I can see he's motioning for me to go down. So I go down to see what the situation is, and I'm on my way down, and you can kind of tell how big a grouper is based on the size of the dust cloud that it kicks up. And these big ones will just create a storm. Especially, I mean, and you can see the currents just dragging the dust cloud away from the rock really quickly. But I can see on the end there that there's no grouper anymore. It tore itself out. And that's kind of what happens when they're able to, when those big ones are able to wedge themselves and the shaft under a rock and just kick really hard. You're almost better stringing it or letting it go into the rock than you are with it outside the rock. So taking another drop on this rock, and these drops in this deep with this much current are pretty exhausting. So we don't do that many of them. This is probably my 6th or 7th of the day on this spot, and it is my last because we get exhausted pretty quickly kicking back to the boat and doing all that stuff. So we only get a few of these a day. On my way down here, you can see again there's those bait fish, and there's a nice black, and I just about miss over the top of him. I should have drifted down a little bit longer. I was just scared he was going to go into the ledge and end up not being able to land my second black at this spot. But at least we found this spot, and we know that it's very good, and that's all thanks to trying to hunt that Cubera for a really annoyingly long amount of time. Here we're moving to another spot that is shallower. We're at about 73 feet of water, and on our way down here and this is a shallower spot along the same ledge, so you can kind of see that it looks similar with these big boulders. And there's another black grouper right here. but he just goes into a ledge, and I'm not trying to really follow him and lose my shaft blasting it back into the ledge. I like to shoot my grouper at least up on the reef. And there he was on the backside. He wouldn't even have got him if I had looked into the ledge. But I like to shoot my grouper above the reef or on the reef, especially when it's deeper. Like, I'll hole hunt for grouper when it's shallower, but extracting a grouper out of a deep back of a hole this deep is not fun. So now we're on the very shallow side of the ledge. We just kind of let the boat drift a little bit, and we're probably in 60 feet here. And once you get to this part of the ledge, you start to see a little bit more snapper life and less grouper, especially in the summer. See these nice mangoes here? And you can see just how crazy the current is. I'm not kicking, and look how fast I'm moving over the reef. Take the shot, miss, and yeah. But you can see the deeper side out there. The visibility was really, really good on this day. But yeah, this current was absolutely ridiculous for me to be moving that quickly without doing any kind of kicking. Alright, that's it for today's episode. Not the greatest bag we've ever put together, but as Aaron Young says, YouTube is a highlight reel, and I'm trying to keep it real with you guys. Next episode, we do kill it, though.
Back in the truck, getting the trailer so we can pull the boat out. I am very sunburned, oh my gosh. But the current was insane today. I don't really know how to describe it. I hope it's not like that tomorrow. But we found a way around it, ended up getting a black, big mackerel. So we partly met our goal for today. We need to do better tomorrow though. Peace.